In the quiet village of Omoani, there lived a girl named Nkem the, though most people simply called her Nkem. From the day she was born, her mother said the gods had marked her legs. They were so thin, twisted like dry yam vines, and could not hold her weight. So while other children ran to the stream and climbed guava trees, Nkem learned to move with her hands, dragging her body through the red dust, her legs folded like the wings of a sleeping bird. Her father, Okori, was a great hunter, very proud, tall, and the kind of man whose laughter could shake palm trees. But when his daughter was born that way, something inside him went silent. People whispered that maybe he had offended Allah, the earth goddess, or maybe he failed to keep a vow to Amadioha, the god of thunder. They said such deformities were never ordinary. At first, Okore ignored them, but whispers in a small village are like smoke. They find their way into every heart. Still, Nkem's mother Ngozi loved her fiercely. My child may not walk, she would say, but her spirit runs faster than any of yours. Ngozi carried Nkem on her back to every market, every festival, every visit to the stream. The villagers pitied her at first, but pity is a heavy fruit. It rots quickly and turns into mockery. As Nkem grew older, the mockery grew sharper. Boys would imitate her dragging herself through the sand. Girls would whisper and giggle when she passed. Some called her Nkem the Crawling One. Others said she was cursed, that her legs were a punishment for a sin committed before birth. Yet, Nkem's eyes were bright and full of quiet fire. When people laughed, she smiled, though her heart burned. She never cried where anyone could see her. There was something strange about her, though. Animals never feared her. Birds would land near her hands. Goats would follow her as she moved through the compound. And once, when a snake slid out from the bush, instead of striking or biting Nkem, it simply coiled beside her and watched her before slithering away. Ngozi, her mother, saw all this and shivered, wondering if the gods had truly touched her daughter. One evening, when the air was heavy with the scent of roasted maize, Nkem sat near the family's fire, tracing patterns in the sand with a stick. Her father was cleaning his hunting gun, while her mother stirred a pot of ofen sala. Papa, Nkem asked softly, do you ever think the gods made me this way for a reason? Okore froze. The fire cracked. Nkosi looked up sharply, her hand trembling on the spoon. Okore sighed and said, child, some things the gods do are not for us to question. Eat your food and rest. But Nkem could see pain flicker behind his eyes, the kind that men hide beneath their pride. That night, while everyone slept, Ngozi heard Nkem whispering. The girl's voice was calm, almost like a song. If you gave me this body, she murmured to the dark, then show me what it is meant for. The wind outside rose, stirring the thatched roof, and Ngozi thought she saw a faint blue light flicker near her daughter's mat. But when she blinked, it was gone. Years passed, and Nkem learned to live with the world's eyes on her. She became good with her hands, making clay pots, weaving raffia mats, and decorating calabashes with patterns no one else could imagine. Her art sold well at the market, although most people still refused to touch her or let her shadow cross their wares. Some people still did not buy from her. She is touched, they said. Her beauty is the beauty of spirits, not humans. Then came Omogo, the proud son of the village chief. He was very tall, strong, and spoilt by praises. Omogo was the type who thought the sun rose just to greet him. He saw Nkem one afternoon, sitting under the Ogwugwu tree near the stream, painting the shell of a calabash with red dye. The wind lifted her hair slightly, and the sun made her skin glow. Something about her calmness annoyed him. Why does she act as if she is whole? He asked his friends. She should hide, not sit in the open like a queen. His friends laughed. Maybe she believes she's better than us. You, Omogo, should teach her her place. So Omogo went to her. Nkem the Crawling One, he said mockingly. What are you painting that makes you smile like a spirit? Nkem looked up slowly. Beauty, she said simply. Even the earth that people step on still carries diamonds within. Her words stung him, though she said them without anger. Careful, he replied coldly. You speak too boldly for someone who moves like a snail. He and his friends laughed, kicking dust towards her. Nkem just brushed the dust off her port and whispered, the snail reaches its destination when the time is right. When she got home that evening, Ngozi saw the hurt in her daughter's eyes. Don't mind them, she said, holding Nkem close. People fear what they don't understand. But Nkem didn't respond. She stared into the fire, thinking of Omogo's laughter and how much it sounded like thunder before a storm. The next morning, something strange happened. Omogo's mother ran through the village screaming, my son, oh, my son, my son, she cried. The villagers gathered and found Omogo lying outside their compound, shivering and pale. His voice trembled as he pointed to his legs. I can't feel them, he whispered. I can't walk. His legs, once strong and proud, now lay limp as dead fish. Fear spread quickly. The village medicine man Dibionwoka was summoned. After long chants and tossing of cowries, he said in a grave voice, he has been touched by a spirit he offended. The curse is heavy, but the one who caused it can lift it. Everyone turned towards Nkem's hut. Some began to whisper, others shouted, it's her, it's her, the crawling one. She has bewitched the chief's son. Before sunset, a crowd gathered before Nkem's house. Okore, her father, stood in front of his daughter, holding his hunting knife, while Ngozi, her mother, wept. Omogo's father, Chief Amy, shouted, bring out your child. Let her undo what she has done. She did nothing, Okore barked. But the Dibia stepped forward, eyes cloudy from age and secrets. Bring her out. The gods will speak through her. Nkem, calm as ever, crawled to the doorway. I did not touch him, she said softly. But if I am the reason he cannot walk, let the gods judge. The Dibia nodded and drew a circle in the sand, sprinkling white chalk and dropping 3 cowries into it. He chanted in a tongue older than the trees. The wind grew still. Even the birds stopped singing. Then, suddenly, the cowries flipped, all showing their hollow sides upward. The crowd gasped. The spirit confirms it, someone shouted. Nkem looked down, her face unreadable. Then let the gods themselves speak, not cowries. And before anyone could stop her, she dragged herself towards the sacred tree at the edge of the village, Ogwugwu Ala, the forbidden place where no one went without reason. The elders shouted for her to stop, but she kept going. Even the Dibia hesitated to follow. That night, thunder rolled across Omoani. Lights flashed around the sacred tree, and people claimed they heard voices. Not human voices, not animals, but something between both. The next morning, when the storm passed, they found Nkem asleep at the foot of the tree, unharmed. She opened her eyes and slowly said, the one who mocked the cripple now walks the path of his own laughter. But his healing is not in my hands. It lies with truth. The villagers didn't understand, but fear gripped them. Omogo remained crippled. Days turned into weeks, and Chief Eme grew desperate. He brought sacrifices, goats, fowls, kola nuts, but nothing changed. Then one night, a stranger came to the village. A woman dressed in white, her eyes sharp like moonlight on water. She went straight to Omogo's hut without speaking to anyone. She placed her hand on his legs and said, "Do you remember what you did to the girl by the Odala tree?" Omogo's throat tightened. "I only mocked her," he whispered. "Then learn that mockery is the seed of your fall," she said. "But redemption is not beyond reach. Find her and beg her, not for your legs, but for her forgiveness." The next morning, the stranger was gone. Omogo crawled on his hands to Nkem's hut. The villagers followed him, whispering. When he reached her doorway, he wept. "I am sorry," he said. "Forgive me for what I said, for the dust I kicked towards you." Nkem looked at him for a long time, her eyes soft. Then she said, "I forgive you, not because you deserve it, but because anger changed the soul." As soon as she spoke those words, a wind passed through the compound, cool and fragrant. Omogo's legs twitched. Then slowly he stood. The people gasped. He could walk again. He could walk again. Everyone shouted in joy. From that day, the laughter in the village stopped when Nkem passed. People bowed their heads respectfully. But Nkem's life didn't become easier. In fact, something deeper began to stir around her. And that was how the story ended. My dear viewers, I hope you learned one or two life moral lessons from this story, especially the fact that you're not supposed to mock people. You should not mock people. Thank you so much for listening to my story. My name is Zara, the Crown Teller. If you're coming across my channel for the first time, please kindly subscribe and turn on the notification button so when I post new stories, you'll be the first person to get them. And if you're a returning subscriber, big hugs. Thank you so much for always coming around. I really appreciate and I do not take it for granted. Until I see you in my next video. Bye.